Hello, everybody. I told you to record right after the other one. This is Bill, that college football guy, here with another video talking about a little more about ACC expansion, talking about some of the requirements. And I've said about it and talked about the fact that the ACC is probably going to pick schools R1 and AAU. And it's the people repeatedly, including some of their insides of ACC schools, that's not the end-all be-all. They're all going to be taken together, but another category you've missed out on is top 100 universities. I'm like, oh. There's like 95,000 lists online. Which list are we talking about? It says, top 3 are pretty obvious. I'm like, you know the names. It'll be obvious. I'm like, all right. Let me take a look at this. And I went looking through the lists here of all the... I'm like, good God, this is one list. A lot of these lists are actually based on other lists. And some of them are actually based on either the QS World University Rankings, the Forbes Top 100, and U.S. News and World Report. A lot of people use U.S. News and World Report. Also heard about the fact that QS is actually a factor because it ranks everybody in the world, Cambridge, the elite universities. So, it's like, why am I even worried about top 100 universities? Because some of the schools on there, if you are R1, if you are AAU, and you're top 100, it kind of paints a clearer picture who's going to go. So, all right. So I went and looked through the lists here. And, like, there's some Big 12 schools that are obviously on the list in the top 100. And I went through all of them here. And there was a lot more than I thought, but I broke it down to basically... of these 3 lists here, I decided to go through them and say, okay, fine. We'll use these 3 as a parameter. It's not accurate. Nothing's 100% accurate because I don't have the data that they have. But what universities appear in all 3 lists? Are there any that do? Are there some that appear in 1 or some that appear in 2 of them? Anybody appears in all 3. Now, these are concerned ACC expansion candidates. Would they bring anybody from FCS up? Only if it's the Ivy League, and if the Ivy League wants to do it. So there's an FCS school that they would consider doing. Other than that, I don't see the ACC doing that. So, how do I look at this? So I went through the lists here of all 3 in the top 100, and there were some schools on here that had rankings and everything else, but it came down to, and I actually went a little bit past 100 to kind of make up for the extras on both sides. And I ended up with a list here of schools. And, like, is there any Big 12 schools that have made the list? Arizona State, Arizona, Iowa State, Kansas, Utah, UCF, Colorado, BYU, Baylor, and Houston. Yes, BYU made the top 100. Now, obviously, the ACC can get any schools. They would want Big 12 schools because of prestige and everything else, so that makes all the sense in the world. How likely to get that? We won't find out until it actually happens, now will we? As for the schools here that only appeared on the 3 lists once. That's not exclusive on there, but I think that more in the fact that they're not as common as the other ones. Washington State, Oregon State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Gonzaga, Hawaii, and Temple all made the top 100s one time apiece. Are any of these universities AAU? No. So, that. Now, are there any schools on here that made the list twice? 2 of the 3. Yeah, there are. And some of the lists surprised the hell out of me who's on it. Some of these are like, wait, what? UMass, University of Massachusetts at Amherst. UMass is on 2 of the lists. Buffalo, R1 AAU. Delaware, FIU, Florida International did 2 of the lists. Tulane, R1 AAU. South Florida, R1 AAU. Which schools made the list 3 times? All 3 lists. 2 qualify. I did one of them. I'm putting down as qualifying because I believe they will be bringing their football program into FBS in 2028, 2029. The two that are on all three lists, Rice, which is not surprising, they're one of the elite academic institutions, and UConn. Yeah, I double checked. Yeah, UConn's on all three lists. So some of them that say they don't make the academics, they're going to be in consideration. Well, they're not going to be in final consideration, but they'll be in consideration. What's the school that's on all three lists that is partially in FBS but not fully? UC Davis. UC Davis is on all three lists, R1, AAU. With Rice, they're both consistently top 50. Forget top 100. They're both top 50. So, in all institutions, that's big academically. That's big. How ironic would it be that the Pac-12 had rated the Mountain West, and it turns out the ACC may raid the Mountain West, but not for UNLV and the big names, but to steal UC Davis, if Stanford and Cal will allow it. Now, is it likely to happen? Probably not. But in terms of academia, if you really want to go all academics, ACC, UC Davis might actually show up. Maybe one of the later selections, but food for thought there. I was like, seriously? So the ones who are consideration here, we'll go through the list again here. Also, the fact is that someone said basketball-wise, they may only go to 15 schools. Stay at 15 for basketball, the 14 plus Notre Dame. If they added a 16th basketball school, like Army and Navy are widely considered to be getting in, even though they're not AAU or R1 or top 100 because they're service academies, but they're considered the equivalent of a private high-end academic university. Both of them are. And they fit in the ACC footprint, so it makes sense. Plus, they have million viewers, which they need with losing all the major brands they have. They need the viewership. It fits the footprint, fits the academics. It's easy selection. Would they add another basketball school to make it 16 if you do 2 football onlys? One selection I thought would have been Villanova, which appears on the list one time. Who does a hell of a lot more than that? Georgetown, who's higher end academically than Villanova. Could Georgetown leave the Big East to go to the ACC? Something to consider. I was like, wow. There's also 2 FCS schools I have to bring it up who showed up at least twice on the list. One all 3 times. The one that showed up twice was William and Mary. The one that showed up all 3 times was UC San Diego. But with San Diego State in for consideration, I mean, would that be nuts? San Diego State gets passed up, but UC San Diego ended up in the ACC? That'd be absolutely insane. Do I see it happening? No. But, and also a little institution called Stony Brook also made it. That was interesting twice. So you break it down on all these schools here. R1, AAU, top 100. All 3. Who's on the list? Arizona, Kansas, Utah, Colorado, Rice, UC Davis, Buffalo, Tulane, South Florida. Let me repeat that again. Actually, Arizona, Kansas, Utah, Colorado, here, R1AU, Rice, UC Davis, Buffalo, Tulane, South Florida. R1, AAU, and top 100. I plus throw in Army and Navy. I think that's more along the lines of what the finalized list of expansion candidates is going to look like for the ACC. Academics will be a premium. That's how they want to run it. So, it's interesting how this looks. I mean, it's like I said, if the ACC had their way, they'd love to get 4 or 5 Big 12 schools and just fill them in and just take care of themselves. Do they really want to get that big? I realistically think if they're going to get big, they're not going to get any bigger than the 14, 16. I mean, they may do 12 once everything with the contract's done 2036, or if they can get out of it with based upon if the composition clause, whenever it goes void, because I don't have any documentation of what the composition clause actually is. All I have is people's word for it, no documentation. They may still go to 14, 50, maybe 14 for all sports, maybe 12 full members, 2 for football, 2 for basketball. Or they may do 3 for basketball. Who knows? Back to 14, 15, but only 12 full members. It's a possibility. But, yeah, it's like wow. So you have really Arizona, Kansas, Utah, Colorado, Rice, UC Davis, Buffalo, Tulane, South Florida. 9 schools. Entire list. 9 schools. Plus Army, Navy, so 11. And they're going to whittle that down from there. If I had to pick a top 4 right now, Rice, Tulane, Army, Navy. If you're asking for a 3rd full member, it might be South Florida. They might go crazy and add Buffalo. They may decide to add UConn. But the top 4, I'm very damn confident in. Past that, do they want to do another school out west and do UC Davis in Sacramento? Which is actually in Davis, California, near Sacramento. Would they want to do that? We're going to have to see. So, crazy, isn't it? Wow. Top 100s, R1, NAAU. This may be the finalized list. We're whittling the list down. But I've done enough yapping. Why don't you let me know about everything down in the comments? So again, thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done it already, do me that favor, smash the like button, hit that thumbs up. It helps the algorithm as the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. I mentioned all the schools. I'm going to mention the whole big-ass group again. Arizona State, Arizona, Iowa State, Kansas, Utah, UCF, Colorado, BYU, Baylor, Houston, Washington State, Oregon State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Gonzaga, Hawaii, Temple, UMass, Buffalo, Delaware, FIU, Tulane, South Florida, Rice, UC Davis, and UConn are all the ones that are on the 100. But the ones who are R1, AAU, and top 100? Plus, I'm giving Army and Navy a consideration in this group, but the ones who are on this list, Arizona, Kansas, Utah, Colorado, Rice, UC Davis, Buffalo, Tulane, South Florida. I think, like I said, that's pretty accurate what the list is going to be. But you let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Share the video if you want to. And if you haven't done it already, check out the other videos that I've done. If you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. On the road to 1K, we're almost there. I'd like to get it done by kickoff on August 23rd, but we'll see what happens. So, thank you, everybody. All of you who's already subscribed to the channel, I appreciate every single one of you. We're growing together, and let's keep this journey going. If you want to follow me in the craziness that is X, the link will be in the description. So, again, thanks, everybody, for watching the video. Preview and prediction videos tomorrow, and we're going to be running out a bunch of them. Life and truck willing. Yeah, boy. So, again, thanks, everybody, for watching. Everybody's having a great day. Be safe, and please, be good to each other.